Last weekend I did something that I've been wanting to do for many years at this point, and that is climb a mountain. So last Saturday with a group of friends from work, we climbed Mount Snowdon in Wales, and it was a fantastic experience, probably the best experience of my life so far. And it highlighted some wonderful aspects of this journey that I'm on, of self-improvement and just enjoying life. And it also highlighted some areas that I really need to improve, but it excites me and it broke me physically and mentally, but it's changed my life in a very positive and unexpected way. If you're new here, my name is Jamie and I'm on a mission to improve every aspect of my life, from health, fitness, finances, purpose in life, helping other people, and I'm documenting all of that through my YouTube channel. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you all the beautiful sights that I saw, all the experiences, the struggles, the hardships, why I did this in the first place, and how it's changed my outlook on life for the better. So this trip was organised by my main job, Simplify, and it was to support their charitable trust. This year they're supporting Loros and Bodhi Hodges. Bodhi Hodges is a charity that helps families who have lost a child under the age of 18 and helps support them and all their struggles. So it's a really good cause. And in the end, I think it's still open, but in the end we did manage to raise over £4,500, which I believe is going to just be split between the two charities. I was completely humbled by this experience, and I didn't even get to the top, and we'll talk about that a little bit later and why that happened. I was completely humbled and just taken aback by how tall this mountain was and how difficult this climb would be. I stupidly or naively thought that this was like a glorified hill. I thought it'd be fine because I walk a lot and all this. I wouldn't need special shoes. It'd be like a trail. It'll be difficult. I'll be out of breath, but I can do it. I was not wearing hiking boots. I had a very heavy backpack on. I'm 370 pounds. I walk a lot, yes, because I don't have a car, and I walk to work and back, but I was still so unprepared for this trip, and it humbled me to my core, which is a good thing. By the end of it, my legs, my ankle, because I didn't have any proper ankle stability, my thighs, I had muscle pulls in areas that I didn't know you could pull a muscle. Like, I wasn't even that far up, and my neck was hurting, my chest was hurting, like the muscles here. My ear was hurting, I guess because of the neck, because it was like pulling here, because I was like straining as I was stepping up. And you may already know this. You might be thinking, oh, you stupid fool. You should have prepared. Obviously, I should have prepared. But if you've not been there, it's more like a rock climb. It's not, there is a trail, obviously, but you are literally climbing rocks. You have to hold on to things. You have to really put a lot of power into your legs. It was really difficult. And there was this one point where it was about 25, maybe 30 minutes in. We haven't really got that far, but I'm already lagging behind because I put a lot of power into that first bit. And not realizing how difficult this would be. And I got to this point and I look up and we are so far from the top. And not even that, just the next like segment of the trail looks so much higher than what I was on. And obviously this changed my perception of the climb itself and how much more difficult it was going to be. I started to doubt myself, but also changed my mind in how I would now deal with challenges and my own goals. And at the same time, by the way, there was an ultra marathon going on. But we passed the village coming up. So they start in that village, which is already a long way away. They run all the way from the village to where the car park is, all the way up Snowdon, all the way back down again. And I'd already just had this revelation, right? So you got these people pushing past me because they're running up this mountain. This bit that I'd really just struggled with, they're just zooming up it. They're actually running. They're not walking. They're like running up it. And in that moment, I also realized there were so many levels to this game. And I've heard people talk about this financially when you get to certain levels of income. But I had no idea the human body could actually do this. And here I am right at the bottom. I am struggling already. And there's people just running past me. And it was kind of annoying actually, because they were like pushing past people. Because the trail isn't that wide, but fair enough, like you've earned it, I suppose. But because there's so many levels to this game, it automatically excited me into, oh shit, I am right at the bottom of this mountain and in life as well, in my goals. I have so much further left to go, but I could go so much further. I can go so much further than I originally thought I could. My body was screaming at me, and the reasons why were so clear. Obviously, I need to work on my general cardiovascular health, so that's endurance, that's long walks, that's a bit of an incline, that's running, that could be anything, biking, cross trainer, whatever. Just get the heart rate up, get my lungs involved, get me really, really panting, and be able to endure and maintain at a steady pace for a long time. I think specifically I need to be working on my thighs and my legs, so that means muscle training, but also things like the Stairmaster. I've never used a Stairmaster, but obviously now I know Snowdon is basically a ton of stairs. So if I really put in the time to just work everything, this entire like pelvic region needs to be strengthened. But I really need to loosen up my entire body because it is very stiff before and after. And I think that did play a massive role in, you know, when I was talking about how my chest was hurting, my neck, all of these muscles are tight and I really need to loosen them up on a daily basis. When we got to the point that we had to ultimately stop and turn around, because we were told we had to get back to the car park for a certain amount of time, everyone else had gone ahead, which is, you know, fair enough. And it was me, another lady, and a guy called Josh. And some of the pictures and videos in this were actually made by him, actually took by him, and he did a really good job. He had like a proper camera and everything, and he's a really cool guy. So I made a friend on this trip, which is really, really cool. And all these different aspects is what made this trip really fantastic. I'd gone to a place that I'd never been to, I did something I'd never done, and I made a friend. We was looking around and we took it slow, you know, we was just taking pictures, we're taking it in, because we knew we weren't going to be able to have the time to get up to the top. We had the freedom to sort of like sit around, take photos, just look in like little nooks and crannies and look at the sheep, and we got to the point where we had to turn around and we could see the top. It turned out we actually did 2/3 of the trail. So if we pushed ourselves a little bit more, we could have got to the top. But that's not the point of it, because I was initially very disappointed when I realized internally, and when I spoke to Satnam, who was sort of the organizer of this event, that me, Kirsty, and Josh wouldn't have time to get to the top. And Josh could have, by the way. He just chose to stay back with us. And I realized this wasn't just a climb, it was a metaphor for everything that I was trying to do. I realized that all the excuses that I've been telling myself about debt, about my weight, about my fitness, when you get to that place, when you realize how hard actually this is going to be, you have two choices. And I nearly made the first choice, and the first choice is just to give up. I remember getting about 45 minutes in, can't do it. My chest is on fire, I feel really sick. I don't know in what universe how I'm supposed to get from where I am now to there. And that's the wrong mindset. And it's a natural mindset. But it turns out that if I had stopped right there, I wouldn't have had the rest of that wonderful experience. That was only about 100 meters from where I was, from where it opens up. So that was my experience with Mount Snowdon in Wales, and the physical transformation that it has inspired and the mental transformation. If you've done a similar challenge, if you've done Snowdon, if you've done the 10 doors, if you've done another mountain or just big physical challenge, let me know, tell others about it. I understand now how people really get obsessed with physical achievement. I'm a few steps away from getting that bug. So let me know what your experiences are. And even though this climb at Mount Snowdon has been 6 months after I started this channel, this real first push of my self-improvement journey, it feels like it's the first step, and I'm so glad I went. And of course, I'll be showing you everything that comes after this and as a result of this fantastic experience. Thanks for watching, take care, bye-bye.